confirm now if you can hear me. Okay, so today I'll just take you through the processes of creating a project and having it up and running. Yeah, the process starts from you conceptualizing the idea or the project you want to build, then collecting the requirements in terms of the functionalities, in terms of how many users or the use case. Use case is for how many users are going to use the system in terms of user level. 1, you may have a client. 2, you may have a supplier. 3, you may have an admin, salesperson, etc. So the different accounts that you may have in a system, we define them as use cases. So having gathered that, now you come to establishing now the project, and the project starts from you defining the virtual environment. So I'll clear, I'll just sit there, I'll exit from here. So you start by creating the virtual environment. So just you use virtual env, then the environment. So for now I'll do project 2. Let's say project 2 is the project I want to do. Press enter, wait for it to build. Once it builds, cd into the virtual environment like that. Then next step is activating. So remember to activate. To activate, if you list, let me clear this faster. If you list, okay, so if you ls, the ones in blue is a directory or a folder, in other words. Then for the files, we'll find them in white. This is a file. So our concern is on this folder. Remember what we said in bin. Bin is used to manage the environment, and lib is where your dependencies are installed. Each package you want to use within the project is installed there. So we can activate the virtual environment by using the command we do source. Let me just cd into the bin folder. cd. So these are the files that we use to manage your environment. So this is the file that activates and deactivates the virtual environment. So to activate, you just do source. Depending on the directory you are in, if you are in the bin folder, you just do source activate like that. The virtual environment activated with just that command. So if you are within in the parent folder, to activate it you use source, then bin, you are going into the bin folder, then activate like that. So that is the command to activate. I hope you can see it has just switched from project 1 to project 2. Yeah. Now the virtual environment is activated. If we can say, we can try to see what is in the lib. cd lib. As you can see, we only have Python 3. Now we want to install a package called Django, so called pip. Then we do an install command, then the target library. Now in installation, if you just specify Django, it will go for the latest version of that library you are installing. But you can as well specify the version. Let's say if you want to install version 4, you can do the versioning there. If it is 2.3 something like that, it will go exactly to that version. If you want to go with the latest version that is currently in support, you just do the package name. It will go and select for you the version. But if you want to go for a specific version, you can just specify it by yourself and it will install it. Yeah. So as you can see, it's just installed, and remember it comes with the other dependencies. As you can see, we have ASGI ref 3.8.1. so the Django version that has been installed is 5.2. so if you wanted to install something like 4.3, we'll do pip install Django Django hyphen 4.3 like that. But if you don't specify, it will go for the latest. Yeah, so let's see what is there. So we can cd into this cd. So we have site packages. You can see, you can try to see what is there also. Oh, so we want to do the command change directories. cd is change directory. So you can see you have Django, you have all these have been installed. If you install another package, you will find it there. For example, let me install QR code. Install. So if you ls, you'll find something else added. That's ls. I hope you can see QR code. Yeah, so this is the folder that holds your libraries, but that is not of concern for now. Our target is to make sure the project has been initiated and it works successfully. So let's debug how many directories are we okay. So if we ls here, we should see that we have the two folders. We've not yet started the project. So now, having created the virtual environment, activated it and installed Django, we need to initialize the project. To initialize the project, we do Django. We now use Django hyphen admin, Django admin, do start project, one word. Now let's say we are starting web as a project. So if you are less, now you should find the web in the folder, as you can see. Yeah, now this is now our project. Remember, this is a virtual environment management folder. This is the library installation folder, and this is the project. So this is now our working area or working directory. Let's go to cd into web. The contents, now we have this folder, folder, and the manage.py. Now we've switched from Django to Python manage.py as the command. So any operation we are going to run now will be relying on the manage.py file. Now let's try running the project. Python manage.py run server. We are running the server. Our project is still not yet running because there are some steps we have to do. One being creating migrations. Now what are these migrations? Migrations are if you do any changes in your database setup, either creating a table, deleting or updating a column. Let's say you want to adjust a field. You've created a field with the wrong name, but you want to change. So all those changes are usually being logged. So creating migration is like creating a logbook of all the changes you've done in your database. But remember, we are working on our framework. A framework always comes with their own its own structure of databases. So for now we have some database tables that have been created that need to be migrated. That's why you can see you have 18 unapplied migrations. So for us to make sure we don't have this error, we create a migration. Let's do Python 3 manage.py make migrations as one word. So since there's no changes, or we have not adjusted any record or any database model, we don't have any change. The next thing is to migrate. We've made migrations, now we migrate like that. So as you can see, all the tables that had been created, they are now ready. Next step is to run the server. Now you can see it runs. We can press Control on the keyboard and click. Yeah, it is now running. Yeah. Now that the project works, we have the project running. Let's see. Let's load it in VS Code. To open everything here in VS Code, we just do code space dot, and we have the project opening in VS Code. So here we go, just accept. From the left you have let's call this a navigation pen or pen. Then you have your working area and we have your top menu. So basically here your working area will be on this part. So for now we have not opened any file, it's still on the welcome page, but as long as we open a page, let's say a file, we'll have the contents displayed on this page. So we have an explorer. This one displays the files or folders that we are working on, like here. Then we have a search, which you can use it to search either a file from. If you are looking for settings, you can find the settings here. Then we have the Git control. So this is to connect with GitHub for easier versioning. Then we have bugs. Here you can run. This is like testing your content, your code content if there's some errors. Next is extension. You know, when software are developed, we have customization part where not everybody uses VS Code for Python. We have those using it for Java, for Node.js, for PHP. So we have some libraries that work best in Python. We can have those that work in Java and Node.js, etc. Now for you to install them, you can just come to the extension part and search. If you are dealing with Java, just type Java and you'll have the extensions for Java. Then you select what works for you. We have some like Prettier. Is something that organizes your code well. SQLite, something that helps you in reading SQLite databases. We have different types of databases, or let's say database engine, starting from SQL, MongoDB, the likes of Workbench, the Oracle versions. So this is SQLite. So if we navigate back to our pages, we can see we have a DB here, database. So SQLite, that extension we installed, can now allow us to view these database table. These are now the tables. I hope you can see. Auth group permissions, auth users, all those are the models or the tables. You can as well see the records or the columns, ID, name. If you go to users, you can as you can see, we have ID, password, last name, last login, sorry, is super user, username, last name, email, is a staff, active, date join, first name, all that. Yeah, so we'll come back to that later. Let me go back to the file structure first. So as I said, the manage.py, this is the one that helps you in managing your project, doing migration, running a server, and the other related commands. This is the one that handles it. The web, this is the project. As you can see, we have different files in it. We have the init.py, we have the asgi.py. The ASGI and WSGI are the pages that do serve your page. These are the files that do serve your pages. Whatever, when you make a request, they're the ones that do the channeling. The settings. This project requires some settings to be done. At times you may want to do configurations in terms of the databases, where your files will be stored. Let's say media files. Let's say you want to add or remove an installed app. Maybe you want to do SMTP settings. This is where you set everything. From the top, we have the path lib, where it's import path. Then you have the base dir. As you can see, we have the secret key. It identifies this project uniquely. Then you have the warning, and this debug true. So if you have debug true, whenever you get an error, it will show it to you, so that you can easily narrow down and correct it. But if you do a debug false, it means when it counters an error, it hides it. So debug true is safe, or it is good when in development mode, because it can easily point out where the errors are, and it helps in troubleshooting. But when the system goes live, let's say you've hosted it in a server, you have to turn it off because it poses a risk. It shows if let's say somebody does a request and there's an error, it will explain to that person everything that is happening, because it may display crucial information that a user should not see. Then you have allowed host. Here you specify if, let's say, you want to access it via given IP address or a given domain, you allow it here. For example, let's say if this was facebook.com, we would have facebook.com here as the allowed sites, but should be in quotes like that. Or you can also do an IP address, let's say 192.100.20.7, something like that. But if you don't know, if you are not sure of anything, you can leave it either blank or do star. Your installed applications here. Django project tend to behave in like modules or mini apps, where you may have a given app handling a given job. Let's say if you are doing registration, you have an app for registration. If you are doing invoicing, you have an app for invoicing. if maybe at some point that module is not required, you can just remove it. So for you to be able to add or remove an application, you use this block here. Then for security middleware or tunneling, Django uses this part. Then you have the template configuration here. WSGI. That's why it's loaded, because it is at this point where you get your page served. Then your databases here, since we are using the default database, it connects to this one, but at times you may be required to do other advanced databases like MySQL, MongoDB, Workbenches, Oracle databases. So to do the connection, you specify them here. So this is the connection part. You may have different drivers for different databases. I have authorization and password validators are here. Below here you have the language, the time zone, then we have the static files. Remember we said we are going to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, the likes of FontAwesome. Now for us to be able to use them, we have to add them in the static folder. These are files that are going to adjust or bring the look and feel of your page. Next is the URL. You may want to navigate from one page to another, so that connection from one page to another, or for you to be able to execute a certain function, the connection starts from the URL. For now we have a single pattern. So if we try to check from here, we can see we have the default page, but if let's say you want to navigate to the admin, I hope you can see we are able to navigate to certain pages. So this is the default, but we can as well go to the admin. So this admin part, what is displayed here, we can as well add another project. Let's add an app. Do you still remember the command for adding an app? Python manage.py start app. Let's do users. So we should see our users folder added, this one. So if you check the structure between these two, they are a bit different. This one has the setting because it's the core project, and this one is an app. So within an app we have the init, admin, apps, the models, tests and views. So let's register it first. This is the block where we add the app. So we do users. Now that we've added this, let's say this we treat these users as the parent. What we'll do, we'll import include here as a function, then we create another pattern, path. With this one we leave it blank, then we say include users.urls. Now that we've called users.url, let me just copy this and I create a URLs file here. You create a file called urls.py. Let's paste the content and remove this one. Let's also remove that and remove this. Yeah, so what we do now, on this page, hope you can see on this page, this first URL, we've said if the URL is blank here, you know, if we remove this, it becomes blank. So that is the page root or this website root. So if we are trying to access the root, we are telling it check from the users.url. Users.url is this file, so it will come to check what are you trying to access. So what we'll do, we'll import that from dot import views. Views are the functions. So let's say you want to do an index page, name equals index. So this is a function, and this function is always housed in the views here. Okay, we'll define index and say request, let's say return http response. Let's say this is my index page. Yeah, we have some functions that are already pre-developed. So if we access this, we should see this message showing up. Let's see if we'll get. Now if I load this, we should get the message. Not seeing this, we don't want to see this page anymore. Import star. I want to remove this page and see this one. Can as well do a HTTP or a HTML page from here. If you want to do an HTML page, we'll just go ahead and create a folder. First we do a folder, call it templates. Then we do another folder. Then we do an index page, index.html page. Now with this one, now we are going to serve it from here. Let's say here we'll do a request, but now we are going to use this render users index.html. Then if we have some content, we can pass it there. Let's see if we are able to load the page. The page is blank since we don't have anything. So we'll edit the page here and do doc type. Let's say this is our website. For the body we'll do h1. Say this is my web page. Let's see if we'll see the page. Yeah, there.